What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football. We're going to talk some Deshaun Watson. Today was named AFC Player of the Week, and after scoring 57 points and throwing 4 touchdowns and rushing for another, setting the NFL, tying the NFL rookie record, and the first person to do it since the Super Bowl era, of course he's going to be AFC Player of the Week. You already knew that. But I'm just here to talk about it, because Houston, H-Town, wherever you want to call yourself right now, we got us one, baby. Houston, we have a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And Deshaun Watson, we trust. Let's talk about some of these numbers through the first 4 games, even though he's only played 3.5, started 3, played half of another. But we're going to talk about these numbers. He is 74 of 114 attempts. His completion percentage is 64.9. 811 yards, averages 202 yards a game, 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I hate that he has 4 because he really should have 3. That's why I hate that the interception that happened at the end of the Patriots game during that Hail Mary, because it go against him statistic-wise. It makes him like he's throwing all these picks. He's only thrown 3, but story for another day. His quarterback rating is a 91.7, which is the highest in the NFL. Rushing, 148 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. And he just changed the whole dynamic of the team, to be honest with you. He just completely changed the whole dynamic of the offense. I feel with him in the center that he can score on every single play. Every single play, I mean, not every single play, but every single drive, I have no worries about us putting up points. I think that we're going to score points on every single drive. I think we could just lead straight down the field and score and put up points. And that's a great feeling to have, coming from, especially with the defense that we have, even though the defense is coming along slow. But I'm not too worried about that, because if you think about in years past, the defense came along slow in previous years as well. But they normally come along. So I'm not really worried about the defense. It's always the offense. And as long as we can progress and put up 20 to 24 points a game, we're going to be in every single game. And with him at the center, I believe that we're going to be in every single game. It's just how I feel. And so back to the question of, why did it take Bill O'Brien so long to figure this out? Why was he starting day one? That's my criticism. Why was he starting day one? The report was today that after the Panthers game in the preseason, the first preseason game, that Bill O'Brien wanted to start Deshaun Watson, but Rick Smith, the general manager, talked him out, because Rick Smith and him had a conversation saying basically it went like, we already discussed that we was going to bring Watson along slow. We don't want to rush him on the field like the Texans did with David Carr years ago. We don't want to rush him on the field and put too much on his plate. And you know what happened with David Carr, same thing happened with Deshaun Watson. We put too much, we invested too much in him. We invested 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick to get this guy. We don't have a first or a second next year. We need to make sure that we bring him along slowly. That's basically how that conversation went. I'm paraphrasing because I really don't know. Like, that's basically how it went. So that's the reason why he didn't start. And also, sick of the narrative that people keep putting out there about Hopkins and Deshaun Watson. Because if you watch the interview with Hopkins after the game, Hopkins was very excited and very, not apologetic, but very thankful. That's the word I'm looking for. Very thankful of the organization drafting Deshaun Watson. And if you would listen to people like Skip on Undisputed and other people, keep bringing up that Hopkins was on Team Savage during the summer. That's not what happened. When he was talking about he had his trust in Savage and he was rolling with Savage, he was comparing Savage to the quarterbacks that's been on this roster previously. Your Hoyers, your Mallets, your number 17, your Case Keenums, your Brandon Whedons, your T.J. Yates. He was comparing them to them. He was comparing that out of those guys that I've had on this team, because like it's been proven that in his career, in his short-time career, in his first 4 years, he's played with more quarterbacks than any receiver in NFL history. That all the quarterbacks that he's seen come through this door, that he put his trust in Savage more than them. One, you're going to back the person that's on your team, because none of those guys are on your team anymore, so of course you're going to back the person that is on your team, one. And two, probably Savage does have more physical talent than all of them anyway. So, of course, he was going to back Savage. And that's what he was comparing him to. He had nothing to do with Watson. He was not comparing it to Watson. But see, the reporter who did it for clickbait had the headline, Hopkins is on Team Savage or Hopkins wants Savage to start. That's not how that conversation went. If you actually watch the interview, you will understand what was being said and where Hopkins was coming from. But obviously people like Skip did not watch the video. They just read the headline and that was it. They took that and they ran with it because every single time they talk about Deshaun Watson or the Houston Texans on FS1 on Undisputed, he brings that narrative up every single time, and that's not what happened. That's not the conversation. That's not what happened. And I'm sick of people talking about it. Same thing, I'm sick of people talking about Bill O'Brien's offense. Talking about how his offense is basic and stagnant. Like I said in my last video, maybe that might be the product of the quarterback play that he had. True, that it's his fault that the quarterback play was that because those guys are guys he wanted to bring in. He's the one who worked with Mallett. He's the one that worked with Hoyer. He's the one who took one Fitzpatrick on his team his first year. I don't believe he won Osweiler though. Oops, 17. I know I'm not supposed to say his name, but I don't think he won 17. But that's neither here nor there. But this type, you see, when he has a quarterback that can run anything else to do stuff different, he runs a different system. This is the exact same personnel that was on the team last year, and it was completely different. Same team that was on the same team that was on the field week 1, same team that was on the field last in the playoffs against the Patriots, against the Raiders, against any other team that they played in last season. The exact same personnel. This personnel is not different outside Dwayne Brown, and this offense looks night and day from week 1. It looks night and day from last year. This offense just looks way more. It looks more faster, more crisper. They move the ball more. They spread the ball around more. Like I said, I gave every receiver last year a pass because of the quarterback they were playing with. You seen how good Will Fuller looked in only 4 catches. No drops. They were short catches. He only had 35 yards, but 2 touchdowns. He looked better. And then you seen the playmaking ability with him, the way he was able to stretch the field, even though he didn't get a chance to make the big play. But you seen the pass that was overthrown by Watson, and that's more because of timing, because they haven't got a chance to work with each other. And then the pass interference call, that's huge. That's key. That's just as good as him catch. Of course, you'd rather him get and catch the ball and get the touchdown that way. But getting the pass interference call, getting you to the 1, that's good. That's good too. That's good too. That makes the defense honest. The defense can't play the same way. Now they can't load up the box because of the threat of Will Fuller. Also, if you watch the game, you can tell that, hey, Deshaun Watson has an arm. That was the knock on him coming into the draft, that his arm wasn't that good. He didn't have a big-time arm. He don't have a cannon. He don't have an arm like Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have a rocket like Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't have that type of arm. No. But is his arm good enough? Yes. His arm is good enough to make those throws because you see how he's able to overthrow Will Fuller. So if he's good enough to overthrow Will Fuller, he's good enough to give the ball to Will Fuller on deep passes, which Will Fuller is, quote-unquote, supposed to be our fastest player. That's good enough. And then, but not even those throws. It's the throws he made, the throw he made to Bruce Ellington when he split the defenders. Last week in the touchdown, the back shoulder throw that he made to Ryan Griffin in the touchdown, the one that he scrambled all the way over here and then threw across his body, the one he's throwing off the back foot to get the ball out of bounds so it won't be a rough in the pass. An intentional grounding or a sack. Those type of plays is when he shows off his arm, and he has enough arm to make those type of plays. So since he has enough arm to make those type of plays, his arm is good enough. Yes, he don't have the strongest arm in the world, but it's a good enough arm. It's a strong enough arm. It's not a weak arm. It's not a Chad Pennington type arm. It's not that type of arm. It's not even a Matt Schaub type arm. It's stronger than Matt. It looks stronger than Matt Schaub and looks damn stronger than the 17. So your arm is good enough. So I'm sick of that narrative as well. But like I said, Houston, I think we got this one. I'm just, the way the offense looks, I feel like we can score on every single play, every single drive. I have no trust issues, and I think that he will be a future MVP of this league. And I do see future Super Bowls and playoff appearances. Of course, Super Bowls got to be in the playoffs. AFC titles, and I think that we're going to win the AFC South this year. That's just my humble opinion. I mean, I could be wrong. People say slow your brakes because RG3 was Rookie of the Year and Vince Young was Rookie of the Year. He's not those type of dudes. He's not. RG3, talent-wise, was there. RG3 came out and was like gangbusters. But he got hurt, and then he couldn't handle success because he didn't have success at Baylor. He won the Heisman, but he didn't have success. He wasn't the national champion winner. He didn't have true success. He had success for himself, and it was college success, and then everything happened so fast. He went from Heisman to second overall pick, rookie of the year, and then he got hurt, and then he couldn't handle it. He was too cocky. He was too big-headed. That's what people say coming out of Washington that played with him. So Deshaun Watson's not that. Same thing with Vince Young. Vince Young has success. Vince Young can handle success, but Vince Young and Deshaun Watson are night and day. They're two different people. And Vince Young even said himself, he made mistakes that he wished he could go back on. He could probably still be playing football right now. And not mistakes on the field, like off the field type mistakes. He done stuff, not the work ethic type stuff. Like stuff that he should have done better, that he know he should have done better. Same thing, Vic said the same thing about himself too. These are things that they could have done that they didn't do. And I don't see Watson making those type of mistakes. If you know the background that Watson come from, like his mother having cancer, him working jobs to help his family out instead of playing high school football. But if you just actually watch his background, he comes from working for Habitat for Humanity while he's playing college football. Like he has a very structured background, very mature background, and I don't see him falling off like that. That success, and then he had success in college, went to back-to-back national championships, won national. Like I don't see success being too big for him. I think it's just another day, like it is for Tom Brady. Success is just success. It's just that's how it's supposed to be, and that's what Deshaun Watson is. So I don't think that's going to be overwhelming him. The injury thing is completely different because injury can happen to anybody, and the offensive line is a shaky thing right now. So that's a concern. But outside of that, I don't see none of the other stuff bothering Deshaun Watson. I think he'll be just fine and be a legitimate franchise quarterback. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell to get more videos. I holla.